My husband left me for another woman and thinks that he can come home as if nothing happened, so I served him divorce papers at his job the day he thought he was coming back home. I was married to my now ex, and we'll call him ED, for 10 years, together for 13. We had our ups and downs, but mainly, we got along fine and didn't argue much. He would throw tantrums if things didn't go his way and would punish me by sleeping on the edge of the bed, which was fine with me, or he would not talk to me and slam things. 2 years into our marriage, things went wrong when he got into substances. It was horrible. One night, I finally had enough and was on the phone with my mother-in-law, telling her I was sent back to Florida when the sheriff's department knocked on my door. Someone had found my husband unconscious, severely beaten, in a ditch a block from our house. I raced to the hospital and didn't recognize him when I saw him. He was so swollen and bruised. Now, my husband was a man who could fight and was strong. Come to find out, it took 3 men to do this. They thought they could rob him since it was payday, but he had been home and purposely left his wallet at home. I sat with him 24/7 while he was in the neuro/trauma ICU. I slept on a couch in his room, prayed over him, bathed him, and took care of him even after he came home. This saved his life. He got clean and returned to work full-time, always putting me and my grandson before his needs. I have a daughter in my first marriage. He went to work and came home. That's it. 4 years later, I finished my education and became an ordained priest and have been the pastor at my church ever since. At first he didn't mind, but then he would say things like, "I didn't sign up for this," even though I never pushed church on him. I knew he believed in God and he prayed daily. I would invite him to Christmas and Easter service, and he also came when I was ordained, and my grandson, who calls him Grandpa, was baptized. For several years, things were good. Then, suddenly, he began coming home from work, showering, changing clothes, and leaving. At first, he said it was to watch whatever sports were played on TV because we didn't have live TV. Then he told me he'd be back whenever he got back. Then, things went back to how they were. We laughed a lot, we joked around, and I began getting the usual kiss goodbye before he left for work. One night, he did his laundry, and I talked to him while he was folding it. He never wanted me to do his laundry, so that wasn't new. We ended the night laughing as he was trying on old clothes. The next morning I woke up and went out to the living room to ask what time he had to be at work, but he was gone. I assumed he had to be there early. I walked back into the bedroom and saw his keys on the bed, which made me wonder why he would walk to work on such a cold day. It was December 1st. I started leaving the bedroom again and noticed his missing laundry basket, so I went to the laundry room, but it wasn't there. I went back into the bedroom and noticed his closet was empty. I called him to see where he was and asked if he had moved out, and of course, his answer was yes. Come to find out, he had met a woman at his job who works for one of those shopping apps where people buy and deliver your groceries. He had moved in with her. Over the next 6 months, he called almost daily and said, "Our marriage will survive this, just give me time." He even told me he would be mad if I began dating. During one of our phone calls he told me he wasn't happy with her and was going down to Florida to visit family. He said he wanted to return to me when he returned to Michigan. The plan was this. He would pack things that he couldn't live without but leave at his new girlfriend's house to make her think he was coming home to her. He planned on giving his 2-week notice while gone and looking for another job when he came home. By this time, I knew I didn't want him back. I found my self-worth again. And made new friends with neighbors once he was gone. I came to find out that nobody liked him. Even the women at the gas station across the street told me how he flirted with them when he came in. Even an elder at my church found out he was cheating but didn't tell me because she didn't want to hurt me. So I went to the courthouse, got a divorce package, and filled out all of the paperwork. Where I live, I can serve him myself. I decided that since he chose to end our marriage while working at the store, I would officially end it there. So, I ensured I looked excellent the day before he was supposed to fly to Florida. My new hairstyle, makeup, and my outfit were sexy. I went to his job, found him, and handed him the divorce papers. I told him that he was wrong. Our marriage wasn't surviving this. You should have seen his face. He was upset, with tears in his eyes, and for a moment, I felt bad. Then I reminded myself what he had done to me. He didn't just leave me in the middle of the night, he stopped talking and doing things with my grandson, who thought Grandpa was the greatest. He left me in a house that I couldn't afford without him, and I would have been homeless if my church hadn't paid for an apartment. He told me women were stupid. He actually thought he could come home as if nothing had happened. That was one thing he said on the phone because I never mentioned the past. Last week, 6 months after our divorce was final, my car was repossessed. When we were together, he got 2 loans, and I agreed to use my SUV as collateral because I never pictured my life without him. He stopped paying on his loans, so they took my car. I wasn't notified because they sent him the letters. They wanted me to pay off his loans to get it back. I burst out laughing and said that will never happen. Update, here's what has happened since my post. I found out where my car was being held. When I went to their website, I discovered that it's also the location where they sell the repossessed cars during an online auction. They hold it every Monday for 24 hours. I called and asked if I could have my belongings out of it, and they said yes. They had my things in a bag, including my license plate when I arrived. I registered online, and this past Monday, I began bidding on my car. I ended up buying my car for $2,700. When I showed up to get my car, the people laughed and said I was not the first to do this. I put my plate back on and came home. The bank can still come after me for the balance, but I don't care if it hits my credit report. I don't use credit cards, and in October, my daughter closed on a brand new house. I had no other bills except my cell and utilities. I'm now living with her and my grandson. I was lucky enough to have enough time to retire when my muscular dystrophy began causing more health issues, and that money went to my other bank. My mother-in-law was happy to give me his new address so I can sue my ex for half of our income tax return that he kept last year. She's even having us stay with her when we visit Florida during my grandson's spring break. She's still calling ED's girlfriend Teresa, Trina, Tracy, and everything except her name, which starts with the letter T. I love this woman.